First of all, the potential handball in the box.
Potential? I was 60 yards away. I saw it clean. It was a handball. Referee's 10 yards away. I have no understanding of how you can't make the call.
What are your thoughts on just the way you guys played tonight?
It wasn't a good game for either team. It was a very scrappy game, back and forth. You know, we sure didn't give a lot of chances away. We created some good ones, but you know, not enough. But both teams were. It was just a scrappy game.
What's Rogers' status?
He just got whacked pretty good. I mean, that's why he came out. He couldn't go. He got jammed right in his shin. So obviously we'll have to see over the next few days what it's like.
You talked on television afterward about the referee and about the refereeing and everything. You feel like that he lost control of it after the altercation late in the first half, or do you feel like he ever had control of what was on the field?
The whole game about refereeing is about consistency, and the calls that were being made in regards to heading of the ball for especially defenders on both sides. I mean, there were times that they called fouls for us that weren't fouls. So what happens is you start to call, you make a call, then you have to be consistent with it because both teams are going to complain. So now all of a sudden the game is nothing but there's no rhythm to it. It's just a foul, but they're not fouls. So it changes the rhythm of the game, and at that point the players, they don't get into it. They don't have any rhythm in the game. So now the game is choppy as much as it was, and so it changes just the ultimate tempo of the game.
Peter, what is it, or what does it seem to be about this matchup that it hardly ever finishes 11 on 11?
Look, the game is obviously the game is with grown men. It's physical, and then the other is it's emotional. And so I think it's two teams that wind up always being, you know, late in the season, wind up being in the mix, and you know, one of the teams that is getting ready to compete for MLS Cup. And so we wind up, we're in the same division. We might wind up seeing each other at some point in some big matches all the time. And both teams are extremely competitive. And with that being said, you know, there's going to be fireworks sometimes. But I'm glad to see that our guys kept their composure.
Peter, Thursday, Nate asked you if you were in favor of going back and looking at replays in terms of in the game. Is that a clear example tonight?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, for sure. It was good because you also, when you see the Namath goal he scores, his shoulder, he's off by, you know, I don't know, maybe this much, but he's off. So it's great to know that he was off, you know, and there wasn't a mistake made. I just don't understand how you I just don't get it. I really don't get it, but hopefully sometime it's going to change sooner than later.
And in terms of...
Because this is 2 weeks in a row now, by the way. Because we had the same thing in Salt Lake, too. It's a handball in that game as well. It doesn't get called. It's right inside its first half. It doesn't get called, and it's a clear-cut handball.
Did the fourth official tell you, was that call made just by the referee, or did he ask the ARs at all? If he
didn't ask anybody. He made it himself. Because he was in control. That was sarcastic.
How do you think the field played today?
It was choppy. It was. I mean, but the great thing is, it's not like our other field was. So by the time we get back here for the next game, I assume that it's going to be a heck of a lot better because I'll have a chance to settle a little more work on it. But it was the right thing that we did. We needed to get a new field in ASAP.
Still an improvement from what it was.
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure. For sure. It was the other one was really dangerous. I mean, for these guys, I mean, honestly, I laugh about it. For these guys, the difference is that they're used to playing on a pool table all the time. I mean, for me, that was like a Wembley back in my day. So, you know, for these guys, it's hard for them playing it, but I could have played that thing all day long.
Peter, is it troubling at all in terms of the set pieces given up late in the game, especially with Brad Davis on the left foot that he has?
I mean, is it troubling? It ticks me off. I hate giving up any set pieces in any game. But we scored a great one. And again, I thought we were dangerous in and around the box, you know, many times. It's just unfortunate, You know, like I said, the reason why we get the handball is because of again, we create another set piece off the field. And it's the reason why, well, I should say the so-called handball.
Peter, can you talk about the yellow card for Dwyer tonight? It means he's suspended next week at Toronto. Can you talk about the adjustments that will be made up front?
Well, first off, I don't know where the yellow card comes from. The guy pushes him down, and he gets a yellow. For what, I have no idea. Again, it's the decisions that are made out there. I can't even know what to say. Those are the things that just are extremely frustrating. Believe me, it's not just to me, but it's to the other team as well. I know that their staff is frustrated with things that are going on in the game, and it just, like I said, it has a major impact on the entertainment value of the game. It is what it is. You know, he's out. This means we'll be well rested for our U.S. Open Cup game.
Yes. Right. Thanks everyone. Coach Crowell's been there now, so
we knew coming to Company Sporting it was always going to be a tough game. They have an unbelievable home record, a record that they should be very proud of, best record nonetheless. So we knew that we were going to have to play very well, and we did. Listen, let's be honest, you were all here, you've seen it yourself, and I would hope that, I know we all love our own teams and everything else, but I would hope you take the bias out of it and understand how good we were in the first half. Since Kansas had one attempted goal, which they scored off. I would suggest even then it might have been a soft foul, but having said that, it's a wonderful delivery, and Don Dwyer's an outstanding player, one of the top players in MLS, scores a wonderful goal. And many teams I think would have felt sorry for themselves at that time, but not that scope that I have. We picked ourselves up, and if truth be told, at our own game, we passed Sporting Kansas off the park in the first half. Should have been 2 or 3 goals on the back of that, never got them. And then came out the second half with the same endeavour, excepting that probably I think that was a bit more even in terms of the Sporting 1 or 2 chances as well. So I have to almost fair when I get balance to things. But as I said before, we know the quality of ours. Scored a very good goal. Find ourselves down to 10 men. That's something I would debate. Although I've got to say I never get the chance to see it back because I only see back the stuff that favours Sporting Kansas. So I would have to say as well, and this is an important point. I've been very fortunate in my career to have been at played against many big teams and big clubs and big leagues and everything else. And the MLS has so much good things about it that's going on, so much quality, and so much in terms of the improvement that the league's making stride after stride to become, I believe, one of the global leagues in soccer. But I've got to say, for me, that's not acceptable what happened tonight. That people want to show things on big screens that favours themselves. Because if you want to give balance to it, then they should have showed the instant when Roger, who, as I said, is a wonderful lad, something I know well, when his studs have took my goalkeeper and caused an injury and the nail left him. I didn't see that replayed, but they want to replay an instant that's hit Luis Garrido on the hand, and he may very well have. I'm not taking issue with that. So if you want to be fair and give balance to things, then do it fairly, or don't do it at all. And I think that is a point that everybody in the league should take on board. Just be balanced, be fair, and you want to edit things, then edit them fairly.
questions?
Coach, what is it about this matchup that seems to cause it to never finish 11 on 11?
Well, I can only judge from my 3 games, and we're the team that's not finished with 11 in all 3 games. The first one, as we know, because it was never a red card, because it was then overturned, as you know, and Sporting Kansas were also awarded a penalty in the same incident that led them to get a point at the BBVA win. Truth be told, they were largely outplayed that night, and they're a wonderful team. I mean, I always get balance to that. The last game, I get no dispute, that was a red card. There's no issue with that. Tonight's one, I mean, in real time, I didn't think it was. I think that Roger had just nicked the ball, truth be told. But Nathan Sturgis, he never led with his studs, or if anything, the only thing he was guilty of was just being a little bit late and being committed to the tackle, but he never led with studs, he never looked to endanger an opponent. It was just a tough physical tackle. So, but I think there's no doubt there's fierce rivalry between the sides because they're good sides, and both clubs have fantastic history, and history they should be proud of. So I think they're both very special clubs within the MLS. So that's always going to lead to intensity within the game. And there's good players in show, and nobody wants to give an inch. So again, that's what happened tonight. Unfortunately for us, we're the team that's finished with 10 men every game, and given that advantage to Sporting Kansas. But again, the quality we showed tonight, we're starting to get 1 or 2 players back. And we know, we remain convinced we can go on a very good run between now and the end of the season and pick up points to put ourselves where we want to be.
Coach, during the All-Star week, Don Garber said that he was in favor of possibly bringing an instant replay into the league. Is a game like this, where there's just so many, seems controversial calls, is that a game that's a prime example of why that should be kind of introduced?
Well, I mean, I think, I'm like to think forward thinking, and I always just want the best in terms of what should be a fair result. And I think I've always said it's important that you get the big decisions correct. You know, the decisions that change games. I think we all accept that at the halfway line there's going to be little bitty fouls that you get or you don't get. But when there's huge decisions in terms of goals are disallowed or goals that should be allowed or sending off instances, then I think, of course, for me, I don't see why we shouldn't. Again, that will be up to the powers that be. You need to run that through FIFA and everything else. But all we want is, because we have, as now, a captive audience, a fantastic audience that's coming, selling out stadium after stadium, and we want to make sure the product on the park does them justice. I mean, the country, I've said for many years, I brought my teams here for 6 years from England because I've seen the improvement that everything was made. We've made huge strides, and we continue to be even better, and I think to be one of the leading leagues in the global game, and that's what we want to do, and if that helps, then I'm all for it.
And late in the game when they had that no call on the handball inside the box,
yeah.
I know you and Coach Vermees were kind of going back and forth. Was there just disagreement on the call?
No, listen, Peter's somebody I've got huge respect for. He's somebody I got on very well with and like. And I think, you know, both of us are very passionate on the side of our park, looking after our teams. And, you know, myself and Peter were actually, I think we're speaking through the fourth official. You know, Peter was obviously saying he was looking for a penalty, which I understand. And my point was, well, that's fine, you want to show that, why did you not show the instant, either the sending off or, well, I truly believe that Roger could very easily win the red card for the incident with Tyler Derrick. So, give balance to it, that's all my point is. You know, if you want to show something, then show them all, but don't try and favour one team. And because one thing, it's not only unsporting, there's an element then that you're trying to put pressure on officials, and I think that could lead your club into getting into serious trouble.
Peter had also, I mean, he expressed frustration with what he considered to be an inconsistency in officiating tonight. Did it kind of seem that way to you, or is it just a case of there are one or two controversial instances that you question?
Well, I think, listen, I think we always, and we always will, because that's that, we care about our own team. I think we're always going to debate decisions. That's why I love this game. Everybody's got an opinion, everybody's got a talking point. And probably there was one or two things I feel didn't go my way, and Peter will feel there was one or two things that didn't go his way, and some of them probably key incidents. So, on another day, could that have been given against Luis Garrido Luton? Possibly. I've got to say, I think the pitch played a part in that, not the way it's obviously the new pitch has been put down. And equally, Sporting Kansas could have ended up with 10 men if the referee had seen, obviously, well, he didn't, I don't know if he didn't see it, but when Rodgers laid my goalkeeper out with his high studs in a dangerous incident. So, I think there's many talking points, but what I do know is there's two very good teams, two teams I feel have good quality in the Western Conference and they're challenging. And again, you know, we were obviously coming here trying to stop a wonderful unbeaten record that Sporting Kansas had. And I think for the majority of the game, we certainly did our best to do that. So I think it's been a hard-fought game with two quality sides. And as I said before, we now have to look one or two injuries picked up into the bargain. Possible, obviously, the suspension and everything else. So we'll look to regroup and pick ourselves up. Got a huge game at home next week. But we know we've a group now coming together. Charles Barnsley back, Marcus Beasley back, Kubo Torres are getting fitted by the week. So we think we've got very good pieces that's coming into our jigsaw for moving forward and having a very young, dynamic and hopefully at times successful team in Houston Dynamo.
This being your second game here, how does Sporting Park compare to some of the arenas of similar size in Europe?
Well, I think it's a fantastic arena. I think the people who designed it have been very clever, and obviously I've got to say as well, I've got to applaud in terms of the club for what it has, and equally as well, I mean, they're still here tonight, they have a fantastic support, they get behind the team, they're very vocal, vociferous and want to back the team, and equally, you know, when you get incidents replayed in your favour, then of course that's going to enhance the level of the crowd again. So I think there's a lot of good things about the stadium, and in terms of, you could take this stadium anywhere in the top leagues in Europe if that's your question, and I think it would fit in very comfortably. Thank you very much. Thanks very much for your time, thank you.